Can we
I gotta see you move forward. Just so that.
I'm Ranjan from the University of Chicago Public Policy. I'm in I'm just waiting to get the marks. It's an iconic historic building in Chicago, linked with the Kennedy family. We're a couple of days from the same day, and I'm here on a space that has evolved. Really symbolizing the robustness of our city, our economy, targeting, that's a great collaborating part of because we're preparing to go out and do new money and we can work collaboratively with 1871 is incredibly exciting and impactful to be there. As you left in the environment now, a lot of changes happening. I think now more than ever, there's a need for people to bring innovation, either in big organizations, if we're at the nonprofit sector, state and local government, even the federal level. More will be asked, less application that you guys make, not to unlock and bring change. And I think there's such an exciting environment here in Chicago for this to take place, and we're excited to get together. And we're going to have our illustrious panel here try to share their experience, what they see on the information. I think we don't want to look at this narrowly as like you have to be outside of a startup. You could be they've had experiences on all of that continue. So we're having an incredible year. We're almost 50% applications. Interest and growth in what we've been offering. Changing ourselves out of the same institution. We work a lot of resident people right now, and as I'm out there in the recruitment, Misha has been creating infrastructure for us to happen. Has really created the ecosystem for us to sustain this growth. So we're very grateful for him. He's got a great background in startups as well, working as a consultant. He's also an expert in mixed martial arts and run a gym. So anybody who needs a ride home or an escort, he can handle that. So he'll be facilitating the discussion. We also are very delighted to have Tom Alexander here, operating officer for 1871, alumni of the University of Chicago, partner with the city. We probably could fill up several merchandise marts with the companies and the CEOs and the startups, advise, counsel, been a therapist too. So we're really excited for his sort of experience that he brings. Brett Goldstein, a senior fellow, former founder, co-founding member of Open Table, Chicago police officer, chief data officer for the city of Chicago, really exemplifies how we take sort of real life experience and bring it into our classroom for our students. From you name the sector, he's been in it, and he's a great resource to us. We got Alex from BallotReady, a U Chicago grad. The co-founder is a Harris grad as well. And she can talk from her experience having to create something in a new space, something that probably 5, 6, 10 years ago couldn't have existed. And she and her team were able to bring that to bear. And Ann Rogers, one of the leaders of our MS CAP program, one of the designers, architects, creative thinkers who came up with this program that combines data science and public policy, so we're great to have her. She's a professor at in the computer science department, so we're really delighted to have this group. So Misha, take it away.
We want to make this as beneficial as possible for everybody here. So just to get an idea, how many people are applying to a master's program? How many people from the audience? How many are alumni of Chicago, University of Chicago or Harris School? How many people are just interested and want free food? I knew it. So we, when we were brainstorming about what to do, what kind of panels to create, we noticed a lot of interest from students in kind of the intersection of entrepreneurship, social impact, public policy, technology. And we thought it'd be great to bring together some leaders from this field that really contributed greatly to advancing this area, from working in governments and education to promoting and improving democracy, or facilitating innovation like 1871 does. And so we called on these 4 people in short notice, and they volunteered their time, and hopefully will give us some insights on the way they think about government and startups, social impact. We'll have a uniform to know about 5 minutes talk about work. That's a question that I'm interested in, and then at the end we'll open it up for everybody to ask a question. Following the panel discussion, we'll have some networking, so stick around. Feel free to pitch your ideas to these guys. They'll give you some free advice. So, I guess I want to kick it off by saying that the transformation we've seen in technology and innovation is really astonishing, right? Like, when I was in high school, the cool kids had pagers. I don't know if people remember what pagers are. So you had to get a landline to call somebody and send your phone number, and then they had to find out what landline and call you back. And then if there was an emergency, you had to put 911 at the end, and they'd hurry up and call you back. And 25 years later, my 6-year-old is trying to convince me to open up a Snapchat account for her. It's crazy. And so with these folks, I wanted to, with a very different perspective. Like Anne is a faculty member who runs our program, our master's programs, and Alex is, she's the CEO of a really innovative startup, which, when I think I was introduced to BallotReady in 2015 when you won the Social Venture Challenge. I think my wife was happier because no longer am I calling her from the ballot box and saying, who should I vote for the Water Reclamation Commissioner? Like, people from Chicago understand that. And 2 or 3 people in your area and then down ballot, you have no idea what you're voting for. So I want to give you a few minutes to talk about, BallotReady, why you guys created the company, and where you are now.
Yeah, so in 2014, the summer before the midterms, the last midterms, I just wanted to prepare myself for those elections. I knew who I wanted to vote for at the top of the ticket, but I knew the ballot was going to be long, so I made a site that I could use just for myself to research the ballot. Aviva, my now co-founder, or COO, was the first person I called because she was about to start Harris, but she had, a few months before, called me. She was like, I'm running for local office, will you vote for me? And I was like, sure, but I didn't even know there was an election going on. And she ended up winning. She won by 16 votes. It's great. And we just started talking about this. We realized other people had this problem. While she was taking classes at Harris, we got connected with the Institute of Politics at the university. We got connected with David Axelrod, who still gives us advice. The first big thing that happened was we won the Booth Social New Venture Challenge. We won first place. That allowed us to get more funding from the National Science Foundation and the Knight Foundation. We, since then, in the last year, we covered 5 primaries and 12 states plus DC for the November election. And when we cover a state, we cover every candidate and referendum that will appear on any ballot in that state. So that's all the way down to precinct level ballot measures, town council measures, everything. And we had over 1 million visits to the site, and we just closed our seed round. Next year, we're covering all 50 states with everything on the ballot, and we are creating a tool so voters can know exactly when and where they can vote and set up reminders. Because we want people to complete their ballot without guessing, and we want people to never miss an election.
So how have you found fundraising? How has that been challenging? How do you convince people that BallotReady is ready for a seed round and they want to convince them to give you money?
So we definitely got a lot of good advice from the Polsky Center for Entrepreneurship. One of the best things we did was we started talking to investors really early on, so we built these relationships where we could very easily ask for advice and be authentic about what we were worried about, what we were anxious about, get advice, build that relationship. So by the time we were asking for money, I don't mind doing that because it's like a quiz about my favorite thing, which is BallotReady, and then if I get something wrong, I get good advice.
Right.
So I like it.
That's the passion.
Yeah.
The gentleman to my right, I don't know, most people, if you're in Chicago and government, you probably know him. As Ranjan said, he's one of the founding members of Open Table. He was a former police officer. I never know how to describe him, right? Technologist.
Best just let it go.
What, 6 months ago, is it? Was it your VC fund?
Yep.
So, Kistich. I had to look it up.
Use the interwebs.
So he launched this VC firm focused on GovTech and civic tech. And so why did you start it now? What was the impetus?
Yeah.
How's it going?
So it's interesting being a VC. So I grew up at OpenTable. So I grew up as a recipient of venture capital. And for all the startup stuff that you clarify, it completely sucked. And for I know everyone loves OpenTable now. It was terrible when we first built it. But it was a fun cycle because I spent 7 years building that company. And I learned how to take an idea from sort of infancy to maturity, and eventually we became a multinational and went public and did all that. So I had that sort of weird middle period in government, which we can come back to. But now I have an opportunity to be on the other side of the startup ecosystem and actually fund ideas. So we created this venture which is focused on solving urban problems. And the idea is, can you find early stage ideas that are getting at many of our modern problems, which are everything from autonomous vehicles to big data to food systems, and then seed those ideas. And for me, it's taking all of the mistakes we made at OpenTable and then being able to help a startup grow really fast, whether it's through capital, time, any of these different pieces. Now, where I think the ecosystem, I'm going to sort of take your next question, which you haven't asked, is sort of where do we see things are going? So look, OpenTable is great and awesome, but booking dinner reservations, that's not very exciting. But we're starting to get into this world, and I like to talk about innovation through data, innovation through analytics. So we live most of us here live in the city. We are surrounded by enormous data. How do we take that data and put it into information? How do we have smart use of algorithms? How do we create these complicated systems? So we're seeing this evolution in startups from just your open tables to smart systems, excuse me, smart devices, smart analytics, and this takes us into a lot that we think about University of Chicago. How do you merge all these with ideas and start doing really, really smart things? So I'm excited to be focusing on startups that are working on really hard problems, because I think there's something really exciting about putting capital into an idea which is a really hard problem, which requires math, but has a really, really clear and impactful use case.
So how many pitches do you hear before you actually find an investment willing to contribute money to?
I hear a lot of pitches. It tends to be, I would say it's 1 in 1,000. Like I just see ideas all day. And it's funny because, you know, they're the gamut. Some of them you look at them and you're just like, oh God, kill me. But then, you know, you have a lot of those challenges in innovation where, you know, it's a good idea to add execution, but then you sometimes, a lot of it comes down to you hear a good idea and then you meet the folks. And it comes down to people. Like, you can have a great idea, and I'm sure Tom, you know, sees this, and they can just master it. But then you can have a mediocre idea, and you just have the CEO who you're like, oh my God, I just want to do something with them. But then that's always coupled with are they going to be a good partner? Are they going to be someone who you can help? Like, look, I've made so many mistakes at OpenTable, like we could spend the rest of the day just sort of taking them on. Let me tell you about my mistakes so that you avoid them, so that you can grow faster than we did, and then you can have a wonderful exit and do happy things.